I'm going to have an inbox look at this kit here, which is the 1/72nd scale DreamModel Ka-52 Russian attack helicopter. So to start off, we'll have a look at the box here, which doesn't really give us a whole lot of info other than it says we have 4 marking options there, and you get the nice photograph there, the artwork here of the helicopter. And then on the side you can see one built up. I actually like the way that they've done this. This is probably the best way of doing something. Like when they're all painted up in that, it gives you kind of a false impression of the aircraft or subject, I'll say. This here shows you basically what we should be getting in here. You can see some of the way the photo etch is on it and everything, so looks all right there. And then we've got the QR code there. It's interesting that it says 2017 DreamModel on the box, because as far as I know, this was a new kit. It only came out this year, as far as I know. I mean, that's when they were available, at least to us here. We have that on the side of the box, and then we have a couple marking options here. This one here with the shark teeth on it. And we will open it up and we'll have a look and see what we get inside. I'll set that up there. We got some 3D stuff in there, and so what you're getting is basically, okay, so this is our instructions here. It's just actually one sheet of instructions. You can see we've got the like obviously your cockpit area that you're gonna do, and then the wing pylons and some of the weapons here, and then going into your rotor. And then there's some, it's a little bit complicated how these pieces should be folded, but I don't think it'll be too bad because it only looks like 2 pieces there that you'll have to fold. You might want to get some reference pictures while you're, like, when you do that. And then here's our main assembly here. So it doesn't look too like too much involved with it. And more photo etched there, and more weapons here, and going into the glass and sort of the final assembly. So those pieces look like they were the windshield wipers. They really made a complicated thing out of the windshield wipers, but I like it better that they've done them in photo etch rather than mold them into the glass, because when they mold them into the glass, that they just don't look right. So nice touch that they did that. And then here's our options. I guess we're not going to have any options for weapons. We'll look at the sprues, but it looks like you're just going with the, I think those are Eagle missiles, and then you've got your typical rockets and the, I think they're Attack missiles, I believe those are. I'm not positive what they are, but you don't really have any options as far as I can tell, like for wing tanks or anything like that. So it's pretty straightforward, this kit, it looks like. And we'll look at our options here for the painting, and you're getting callouts for Mr. Hobby specifically for their paint line. And then we've got an all gray machine here, and well, we'll look at the I was checking to see if we had stencils, but we'll look at the decal sheet in a minute. And here's this aircraft here. It's interesting, this aircraft I believe is from the SMO, like the current operations ongoing in Ukraine, because I've seen ones with shark teeth and also the like graffiti that's written on there. I'm not sure if they omitted the like it would have probably had a V on it, like the V marking. I'm not sure if they omitted that or what, because it also says on the box 2017. So it'd be quite a bit before the like a few years before the like ongoing conflict. So I'm not sure exactly how they put this kit together. I'm not sure if it was finished, like if this was ready to go in 2017 and they held off all these years. I really don't know. It's kind of odd. And then we have another aircraft here in the basic camouflage scheme, and another one in the camouflage scheme. So we don't have any information on these aircraft, so why you would pick one over the other, I really don't know, unless you could somehow look them up to see what their significance is. So that's our options for the decals, and I'll go right into the actually, this is nice, they've put it in a little like Ziploc sort of bag here. We'll have a look at our photo etch. Really nice photo etch. It's got the like the plastic over top of it, so it looks pretty well detailed. Sure how well it'll show up there because it's quite small. Doesn't look like too much work, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. And here's our decal. And so you can see the like the det cord for the canopies, and I guess we'll have our instruments. It's one of those things, I always recommend the Quinta-sets, and that when you've got this many displays and things like that, I would recommend the Quinta-sets, but decal is fine in 1/72 scale. And so we do have quite a bit of stencil detail on there. So that's our decal. And the decals they're like a gloss, and there's, I would say, minimum carrier film, but so they're all right. Now I'll go into this little guy here, which is say 3D printed parts, which they should have put on the box. Would have been nice if they would have included that, because I know a lot of people are pretty big on the 3D printed stuff. So get this all out. Okay, so we've got one of the seats has come off, so we've got our exhaust in there, in our, like, the big reconnaissance, I don't know what you call it, just ball, I guess, in our seat in there. You can see the seats are tremendous amount of detail. It all looks really good. You can see the quality. It's all smooth. It doesn't have any like lines through it or anything. Looks really high quality. And then we have our rockets, which look great also. And our attachment points there look really good. And our wheels look really excellent. And the like the protection suit there, everything looks really good. This is our missiles in there. They're in quite a cage, so they're pretty highly detailed. They look alright. I would probably leave these off altogether for a modern aircraft, because they don't really carry the air-to-air armaments anyways. Like, I mean, there's no reason to really have them. So they look good. And then here's our seat that came off. And you see the detail, and there's even got the little ejection handle there. And our seat belts. Looks excellent. And I mean, if you wanted to have a pilot in there, it wouldn't be too much work to get those seat belts off of there. So that's our 3D parts, and I guess we'll go into our glass here. Let's get them out. Okay, so our glass is like non-posable at all. The glass looks kind of wobbly. It doesn't look super clear. I don't think it's just like any kind of discharge on it, but you could see there's a seam right here, and you'd have to clean that up and probably buff it out, so it might look better once you've cleaned it up and got that little seam out of there. If there's a replacement for this canopy, I would go that way. But I mean, it kind of just is what it is, I guess. So the glass is not the greatest in this kit, but it's passable. I do like how they have the riveting and everything on here. It actually looks pretty nice. And we'll go into our pylons here. Get these guys out. This is an unusually large bag. This is also the first DreamModel kit that I've ever even seen, really. So here's our hubs for our rotors, and then you have our. I like the panel lines. Like, it might be a little thick on the bottom, but if you look at the top, they're actually quite delicate, and you can see the rivet details on there. It's like recessed rivets. Yeah, they're recessed. So 1/72 scale is not a problem. And then here's our other pieces here, the wing tips in various pieces, and our pylons. There's a little bit of sink marking in the pylons. It shouldn't be too much to fix those. And on the inside there's really nothing, but you can see the detail on the inside of the rotor hubs there. And we'll look at the actual rotors themselves. And so the rotors look pretty nice. I mean, they're not super detailed, but they're alright. You can have a look there. Hopefully you can see the way they're detailed. Like, it's there. It's just, I mean, there isn't a whole lot of detail to the rotors. And once you paint them, and you know, they'll look a little bit different. But we got our pylons there. And there's no sag at all to these blades. They actually, the way they look heavy, because there's raised detail on them, and the way they look thick. They look kind of thick to scale, actually. And there's no droop to them at all. But I don't know how much droop there actually is in the Ka-52s. I don't think there's all that much, so it's not that big a deal. And then we have our last, or like our main bag here. And so we'll get the smaller piece out, which is our cockpit. And because we're using decals, there's really no detail to the inside. But it looks like if you were doing a Quintaset in here, I'm assuming they'll make one at one point. It looks like it will, you know, you'll have no problem putting it in there. You won't have to clean up anything. There's our missile tubes there. And our rotor, like the base for the rotors, really nothing special to that. In our sticks, they look alright. And nothing on the bottom. And then here's our main sprue here. Alright, so we'll look at the smaller parts first, which is our engine. So you've got no fan blades or actually, I don't think it's fan blades. I think it's just open ducting in there. But there's no detail behind there. You're never going to see it anyways. And then we've got our, I think those are landing gear wells. Oh no, these are the rear, like the rear sort of stabilizer. And then more of those missiles. Then we have our nose. You can see how it's like some parts are very delicately scribed, and then other pieces are really harshly scribed, like this. You see how like really squared out, almost like toyish this kind of looks. It's not so delicate. And then we have the gun here, which is not open on the muzzle. There is an upgrade kit for this where you can put a brass gun on there, which might be the way to go if you want to be really super highly detailed. But the size of this, you could probably make it work. Like, just cut it out with your drill. And here's the aircraft itself. And so we've got raised and recessed. All the rivets are recessed. So it looks really nice, actually. The bottom here. You can see how I think the panel lines are a little bit, for 1/72, they're a little bit heavy. I mean, they're not bad, but they're a little bit heavy. You can see how they have those like little rain guards and stuff, which is nice on there. They didn't forget those. So the details it looks like everything is there, the details. And we'll flip it around to the other side. Looks alright, and then here's where our cannon and everything fits in. Looks pretty nice there. And you can see the amount of like rivets and stuff on here. That looks pretty nice. Like it, I mean, it looks pretty good. I don't know if I would say, well, because there is only 2 kits of this out there, at least mainstream kits. There's really, I would not call the old Italeri 1/72 scale Ka-52, like I would not, it's really a earlier prototype, so I would not call it a like a modern Ka-52, or production Ka-52. It's really totally different. So you've really only got the Zvezda 48 scale. There's a 144 scale Zvezda kit also, which I haven't seen, and then you have this one. And I would say, looking at the two, the Zvezda one is probably the way to go if you want to do a really nice detailed example. This one looks like more of an easier build example, and it should build up really nice, but I don't think it's as good as the Zvezda kit right now. It may build easier. It's probably, for most people, would be like, you know, better suited with this kit than the work you have to put into the Zvezda one. But the Zvezda one, I think, is still probably your best bet for a super detailed Ka-52. It does look nice though. So it's just, you know, another option for Ka-52, like, finally. So anyways, this is the DreamModel 1/72 scale Ka-52 Russian attack helicopter. And oh, and I should say the kit number also is DM720024. And other than that, thank you for watching.